Before we start, make sure you smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, turn on the notification bell so you never miss a video, and drop your video ideas in the comments. Now, here's the hook. What if I told you that you're probably using ChatGPT at only 10% of its power, and that with just 5 specific prompts, you could completely transform how you think, learn, create, and even make money online? In this video, I'm going to show you 5 ChatGPT prompts that change everything. We live in a time where tools like ChatGPT are reshaping how we work and create, but most people treat it like a basic question and answer machine. They type something simple like, "Write me a caption," or "Explain this concept," and they get a decent result. But the real power of ChatGPT isn't in simple commands. It's in structured, intentional prompting. The way you ask determines the quality of what you get back. And once you understand that, everything shifts. The first prompt that changes everything is what I call the role expansion prompt. Instead of asking ChatGPT to simply answer a question, you tell it who it is and how it should think. You don't say, "Give me business advice." You say something like, "Act as a startup advisor with 20 years of experience in scaling online businesses to 7 figures. I'm building a digital product in the productivity niche. Ask me clarifying questions before giving me a strategy." That small shift forces the model to operate within a defined perspective. When you assign a role with context and constraints, the responses become dramatically more strategic and nuanced. This works because large language models respond to context framing. When you tell ChatGPT to act as an experienced copywriter, a psychologist, a YouTube growth strategist, or even a venture capitalist, you're guiding the lens through which it generates ideas. The deeper and more specific the role, the more tailored the output becomes. Instead of generic advice, you start receiving structured thinking. And here's where it really changes everything. You can stack roles. You can say, "Act as both a behavioral psychologist and a direct response marketer. Help me design a landing page that reduces friction and increases urgency without sounding manipulative." Now you're blending disciplines. That's when the quality jumps. The second prompt that changes everything is the constraint amplifier. Most people think constraints limit creativity, but constraints actually sharpen it. If you tell ChatGPT, "Write a YouTube script about productivity," you'll get something broad and predictable. But if you say, "Write a YouTube script about productivity for burned-out entrepreneurs who feel guilty when they rest," keep the tone empathetic but firm. Use storytelling. Limit it to 3 key insights and include 1 personal style anecdote. The output becomes focused and emotionally aligned. Constraints guide the model towards specificity. They eliminate fluff, they reduce randomness, they create clarity, and clarity is power. This is especially important if you're creating content for platforms like YouTube, where attention is limited and competition is high. When your prompts are vague, your content becomes invisible. When your prompts are constrained and intentional, your content becomes memorable. The third prompt that changes everything is the Socratic deep dive. Instead of asking ChatGPT for answers, you ask it to ask you better questions. You can write something like, "I feel stuck in my career, but I don't know why. Ask me a series of probing questions to uncover the real problem before giving advice." This flips the dynamic. Instead of passively consuming output, you enter a guided reflection process. This is powerful because clarity rarely comes from surface-level thinking. When you use ChatGPT as a structured thinking partner rather than an answer generator, you unlock depth. It can challenge assumptions. It can expose contradictions in your reasoning. It can help you see blind spots. And when you follow up with, "Based on my answers," summarize the core issue in 1 sentence and propose 3 possible paths forward with pros and cons, you move from confusion to structured options. The fourth prompt that changes everything is the iterative refinement loop. Most people stop at the first output. That's a mistake. The real magic happens in iteration. Let's say you ask ChatGPT to write a sales email. It gives you something decent. Instead of moving on, you respond with, "Make it more emotionally compelling. Add subtle urgency without hype. Tighten the sentences. Increase curiosity in the subject line. Show me the revised version and explain why each change improves conversions." Now, you're not just getting better copy. You're learning the reasoning behind the changes. This turns ChatGPT into a feedback engine. You can even push it further. Rewrite this email in the style of a minimalist luxury brand. Or rewrite this script to increase retention in the first 30 seconds. Each refinement sharpens the output. Over time, you start internalizing the improvements. Your own writing improves. Your thinking improves. You begin to see patterns. The fifth prompt that changes everything is the systems builder. Instead of asking for isolated answers, you ask for frameworks. You might say, help me design a repeatable content system to grow from 0 to 100,000 subscribers in the self-improvement niche. Break it down into weekly actions, feedback loops, and optimization checkpoints. Or create a learning roadmap for mastering digital marketing in 6 months with clear milestones and practice projects. When you ask for systems, you shift from reactive to strategic thinking. This is where ChatGPT becomes more than a tool. It becomes a cognitive amplifier. You're no longer looking for quick fixes. You're designing processes, and processes compound. If you combine the role expansion prompt with the systems builder, you could say, act as a creator who has grown multiple channels to over 1 million subscribers. Design a content flywheel strategy for me, including idea generation, scripting, editing, analytics review, and monetization. Now you're building infrastructure. And here's something important. These prompts don't work in isolation. They compound. You can start with a role expansion, apply constraints, ask for clarifying questions, iterate on the output, and finally convert everything into a system. That layered prompting approach is what separates casual users from power users. Think about how this applies to learning. Instead of saying, explain investing, you could say, act as a patient financial educator explaining investing to someone with zero background. Use simple analogies. After each section, ask me a quick question to check my understanding. Then create a small practice exercise. Suddenly, learning becomes interactive. You're not just reading information, you're engaging with it. Think about creativity. Instead of give me business ideas, you could say, generate 10 online business ideas based on my skills in graphic design and interest in wellness. Rank them by startup cost and scalability. Then choose the top 3 and outline first steps I can take this week. That's direction. That's movement. The people who get the most out of tools like ChatGPT aren't necessarily the smartest. They're the most intentional. They treat prompting as a skill. They experiment. They refine. They observe patterns. And they understand that AI is not a replacement for thinking. It's an extension of thinking. There's also a mindset shift here. When you use ChatGPT with powerful prompts, you stop asking, can this tool do this for me? And start asking, how can I design a prompt that unlocks the level of output I want? That question alone changes everything. It puts you back in control. Another powerful angle is combining ChatGPT with your existing workflow. If you're scripting videos for YouTube, you can paste your previous top-performing script and say, analyze this script and identify structural patterns that likely contributed to high retention. Create a reusable template based on this structure. Now you're reverse engineering your own success. If you're writing on a platform like Notion, you can use ChatGPT to brainstorm, refine, and then transfer structured ideas directly into your planning system. And let's talk about speed. With the right prompts, what used to take hours can take minutes. But speed is only valuable if direction is clear. That's why the most important habit you can build is clarifying your outcome before you type. What does success look like for this interaction? Do you want clarity, creativity, critique, or a concrete plan? Define that first, then design the prompt around it. You can even create your own prompt library. Save your best performing prompts. Refine them over time. Treat them like assets, because that's what they are. In a world where attention and leverage matter more than ever, the ability to extract high-quality thinking on demand is a superpower. And here's the deeper truth. These 5 prompts don't just change how you use ChatGPT, they change how you think. You start defining roles before seeking advice. You start adding constraints to clarify goals. You start asking better questions. You start iterating instead of settling. You start building systems instead of chasing hacks. That mindset shift spills into everything else you do. Imagine applying the constraint amplifier to your own goals. Instead of saying, I want to get fit, you say, I want to lose 5 kilograms in 3 months while working full-time, training 3 times per week, and keeping weekends flexible. Suddenly, the path becomes clearer. Imagine applying the systems builder to your finances. Instead of hoping to save money, You design an automatic allocation process with review checkpoints. That's why I say these 5 prompts change everything. They're not just productivity tricks, they're frameworks for thinking. Now, as we start wrapping up, I want you to remember something. Tools don't create transformation, people do. ChatGPT is powerful, but it responds to how you use it. The quality of your input determines the quality of your output. So take these 5 prompts, experiment with them, and adapt them to your life, your business, your creative projects. If you found value in this video, make sure you like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss what's coming next. And before you go down to the comments and tell me which of the 5 prompts you're going to try first, and what kind of results you want to create with it. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.